This is the Transforming Anxiety Podcast with Kelly Hanlon McCormick, and today is episode number 197, When You're in It. Welcome to Transforming Anxiety. I'm your host, Kelly McCormick. I'm a mom to 2 boys, a wife, friend, daughter, and sister, and I'm a certified life coach, yoga teacher, and soon-to-be mindfulness meditation teacher. I'm no stranger to anxiety, and I'm here to teach you how to manage your mind and your emotions so that you too can transform anxiety into calm, peace, and whatever you want for your life. I'm so glad you're here. Hey there. Welcome in today. Man, we're getting towards the end of 2022, meaning towards the beginning of 2023. Who knows what that's going to have in store for us. Welcome in, though. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm grateful to spend this time with you each week. And I want to talk about something today here. Actually, we're covering an important topic this month over in the Fierce Calm Project, which is my ongoing monthly group program where we explore some of this work in a much deeper way, and I get to support students in a much more direct way. The topic this month and what we've been talking about over there is what to do when you're in it. And what I mean is when things are awful, when it all feels so hard and so challenging and you're feeling so much and it's all negative and it seems like you're sinking, that you can't get settled, that you can't even really find okay. Because really there are a few different levels to this work, and what we talk about here on the podcast most of the time is what to do and how to integrate teachings when, honestly, things are somewhat okay, when you're functioning, when your head is above water and you're doing all right. And that is a way different gig. It's a different approach. It's a different kind of work than what I want to talk about here today, which is when you're in it. And this is important enough that I want to offer a little taste of this here on the podcast, even though we're talking about it over in Fierce Calm this month, but I wanted to do it here too, because I don't want anyone thinking that meditating or getting curious about your thoughts or setting freaking goals is the way to handle all of life's issues. Those things are great. Those things are great when those things are great. And when things feel way harder than that, well, really, I mean, you're likely to either want to roll over and just pull the covers over your head or punch someone if they suggest those kinds of tools. They just don't feel accessible. And I get that. So today I want to get kind of rudimentary, honestly, because when you're in it, we need to go way back to the basics. We need to boil things way down to the simplest form. We need to go as easy and we need to go as gentle as possible. So I'm going to offer you a handful of things here today that you can do. These are things you can practice, really practical steps. And I'm telling you now, they're simple. Because again, I want you to have something, some way to take care of yourself when you're on your knees. This is what happens sometimes. Like you're barely able to get through the day. You feel on edge and like you're about to lose it every second. Like if you could take your skin off and run away from yourself, you would. I've had those moments. I have done that dance, and I know that can arise. Those are the moments that we're talking about here today. Those moments when you're in it. So the first off, breathe. And focus specifically on the exhale. Your body will reach for that next inhale when it needs to, but support yourself in fully and completely exhaling all of the old air out of your body. Use your lungs. Squeeze into your midline like you're squeezing a tube of toothpaste and see if you can exhale more. Then let the inhale come back in and focus your attention again on the exhale. Again and again and again. This is a big one. This is something we can all do sometimes. This is something we can all do all the time. Nobody will even notice you're doing it, that you're focusing your attention on your breath. Just breathe. When you can't get any more creative or any more resourceful, when it almost feels like you just can't take care of yourself in any way, shape, or form, breathe. Rest your attention on the exhale and then breathe again. I'm going to do a full episode on the power of the breath, the importance of breathing, the importance of how we can use breath and breathing techniques in transforming anxiety, not in a woo, weird, new age, crazy way, in a very real, like science-backed, mindfulness, meditative way. I'm going to do a whole episode on that here in January. So look for that. And I'll leave this here for now. Just please know this is key. Keep breathing. Next, and again, we're just going to keep it really simple. Sip on water. Dehydration and stress, and dehydration and anxiety, this can be a gnarly combination. They kind of wind up feeding on each other. A dehydrated body is under a certain amount of stress because it's not properly hydrated. Every cell of your body needs water. So stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol can get released if you're dehydrated. And your body's overall fight or flight stress response can get activated if you're dehydrated. Your brain, it's somewhere between like 75 and 80% water. So being dehydrated can impact your ability to pay attention, to focus. It can make you feel tired. And being dehydrated can negatively impact your mood. So staying hydrated and staying rested, this is something else, right? Are two of the most important foundational things you can do for yourself, for your mind, and for your body. Now, we're not going to talk about sleep here. I didn't put sleep on the list here today. That's not always so easy to come by. And I didn't want that on a list of things for when you're in it. But, you know, it is easy. Sipping on water. Keeping your body hydrated. It's one of the easiest things you can do. So when all else fails, when nothing else makes sense or seems possible, sip on water. Breathe first. Sip on water. You can always do both of these things. You almost always need to be paying attention and doing both of these things. Breathe, stay hydrated. Help your body in these really basic ways. Will it make everything better? No, not really. But it will stop things from getting worse. It's going to slow things down. That negativity, that spin out, the losing it, the meltdown. Staying hydrated and breathing, it never hurts. And honestly, they both give you something to do that you can do. So breathe and sip on water. All right, another one that I use a lot when I'm really in it and cannot get myself to even think about meditating or getting my thoughts down out of my head or any sort of worksheet or thought inquiry or whatever, is to simply hit play on a music playlist or something or an audiobook. Again, no real creativity or effort on your part here. Have a few playlists that really hit the spot so that you're ready to go. I recommend even having a variety of these. I have some that are classical music that I can just kind of ignore. I have some that are songs that I grew up listening to that just feel really comfortable. I've been listening to a lot of heavy metal lately, something super screamy. Taylor Swift, because Taylor Swift. Whatever works for you. It doesn't matter what it is. Music has a way of transporting us. If music is your thing, use it. Crank it up. Immerse yourself in music. Let it work its magic. It'll get in there, into your mind. It's going to start unwinding things. But be willing, all you have to do is hit play. Play music a lot. Now, another helpful thing here is to simply hit play on audiobooks. Audiobooks that are nourishing, books where someone is narrating a helpful or informative or soothing book for you. Particularly, I like to turn to mindfulness or meditation books. I was doing this recently when I was going through a bumpy time, and I tell you, I wasn't even taking in what the book was. I could barely pay attention to it. But I had this sense that I was bathing my brain in mindfulness. It was like someone was basically speaking mindfulness to me. In this case, it was Rick Hansen, who is great. Like, just talk to me, Rick. It was like the equivalent of going to a yoga class and lying in Shavasana or in child's pose the whole time. It was just being in the yoga experience. Like, somebody just talk yoga to me. Light some incense. Sure, play yoga music. I'm here for all of it. Like, I'm not going to do any of it. I just want to be surrounded by something as nourishing and healthy and healing as all of that is. It's the auditory version of that. Play an audiobook that takes you somewhere you want to go. Hogwarts, celebrity memoir, whatever. Just have some of these handy so that literally all you have to do is hit play. Make it super easy on yourself. Tune the whole damn thing out if you want. But play it. Make the sound go through your ears and trust that something is finding its way in. That you'll subconsciously pick up some nugget, some helpful little something from whatever you're listening to. Again, we're not going for anything that requires effort here. Just hit play. All right, another one, get outside. And really, this one can be as simple as stepping outside and getting a few gulps of fresh air. That's good. It doesn't need to be any more than that. But if you do step outside, maybe you feel the wind on your face, the sun, or even the winter gloom hitting your forehead and your nose. And from there, maybe you can look up. Maybe you can see the trees, the clouds. Maybe you notice a bird flying across your field of vision. Maybe you can notice a few sounds, a smell. Maybe you can feel your feet connect with the earth. Maybe even close your eyes and get deeper in touch with your other senses. It's like closing down your vision on the external world and opening up to your internal world. Just allowing your other senses to deepen and sharpen a bit. Maybe you sit down outside and just be there. Our modern lives are so indoorsy. Devices and tech and productivity and doing and achieving and social media and headlines. We're cleaning and we're emailing and we're buying and we're consuming. Getting outside is about turning the volume down on all of that and reconnecting with your inner nature, your true nature. Reminding yourself that your essence isn't what you can do or what you can accomplish. Like, you're so much bigger than that. You're so much deeper and more vast. Going outside can remind us of that. It can help to right-size what's happening. The circumstances or the thoughts or the feelings that are tumbling around inside of you, it can help to shake us out of that infernal loop and remind us, oh, yeah, here I am. One of my favorite Pema Chodron quotes is, "You are the sky. Everything else is just the weather." All of the weather of our lives, the conversations, the conflicts, the confusions, the challenges, the heartaches, the struggles. It's just the weather. You, though, you are the sky. You are the container that's bigger than all the weather. Get outside. Outside can remind you of that. Sometimes it's helpful too to connect with someone. Phone a friend. Send a text. Ask for help. Tell someone how you're feeling, what you want, what you need. Curl up with a pet. Play with your kids. Even sometimes getting out into the world and being around other people, even if you're not directly with them, right? Like go to a coffee shop, a bookstore, a yoga studio. Wander the aisles of Target or the grocery store. Find a concert or a show or a movie. Go to a museum. Put yourself on a bus or the subway or a streetcar and just people watch. There are millions and millions of humans out there having very, very similar feelings and struggles. I promise you. Our minds tell us that everyone else is doing fine, that people are succeeding and feeling great. And sometimes that's true, sure, but people are also having a hard time. Humanity is suffering. Humans feel a lot of fear and sadness and anxiety. Our minds lie to us when they tell us we're the only ones. It's just not true. And sometimes being out in the world with your people or just people can reconnect you to the web of humanity, the whole interconnectedness of life. And again, shake the perspective that you're in, that you're alone, that you're wrong and broken, that things are absolutely, utterly hopeless. They're not always. But it's like you have to put yourself right in the way of life to remind yourself of that simple truth. I know. Keep this handy. Keep these ideas, keep this list handy. You don't have to get clever when you're in it. When you're feeling awful, just do one of these things. Or maybe a couple or all of these things. Do one of these things or some of these things until something wiggles loose just a little bit. Okay? You're doing it. I promise. I know that it sucks. I know that it's hard and that it's sometimes so messy and awful and painful that you can just lose the plot entirely. But you're doing it. All right, a couple more. One is look at yourself in the mirror. I know this one sounds totally cheesy if you don't need it. I also know when I'm dissociating, when I'm feeling so wildly lost and desperate, looking at myself in the mirror and saying things in my mind like, this is you. You're here. You're feeling awful. And you're okay. Saying stuff like that over and over and over again until I feel some part of me land back in my skin. Until I can feel my feet on the floor. Or my hands on the bathroom counter. Or the wetness of running water in the sink. Something. Anything. This helps. The things we're so afraid of. Anxiety, sadness, fear, heartache, loss, failure, rejection, grief. We do have the capacity to hold them. Just barely, but we do. And sometimes all I can do is look myself in the mirror and say, oh yes, here I am. I am right here. I am feeling this. I am. Like if I hadn't personally done this a few dozen or 100 times by now, I would think this sounds totally wacky. So I get it. But the thing is, I have done this because I've needed to, and it's helped. So when you're in it, I offer you this. Look yourself in the mirror. Remind yourself that you are. It's not good. It's not easy. Nothing makes sense sometimes. Life is so damn lifey. And there you are. Breathe in and out. Take a sip of water. There you are. Breathe again. There you are. Okay, lastly, and honestly, I hesitated to put this in because it may stretch outside of the realm of what's possible when you're in it, but it also starts to become available as soon as the heaviest of the heavy lifts. And that is to remind yourself, this is what it feels like. This is anxiety. This is sadness. This is loneliness. This is outright awful, gut-wrenching, rejected, dejected, bottom-feeding pain. This is it. You're in it. You're feeling it. This is it. Sometimes simply reminding yourself that you're at the low, that you've hit bottom, that you can pause for a moment right here in the depths of total suffering. Sometimes this can help. This is it. This is what I fear. This is what I try to avoid, try to resist, try to push away. This is what I hate. This is it. It's not good. Not even a little. And I'm doing it. I'm feeling it. I'm breathing while I'm in it. I'm here. I am. This is what it feels like. Again, this may not feel totally, fully accessible. Like sometimes I can find my way like about 4% here. And like the other 96% of me feels completely saturated in pain. But 4% is better than nothing. So I reach for that. I give myself that. Here's 4%. This is it. 4% of reality, 96 of pain. Now, annoying platitudes like can't get any worse or you can only go up from here, those may start to creep in. And sure, that could make your eyes roll so far back in your head that they get stuck there. And true. Like that's the beauty of every bottom. Kick off from there. Can't go any further down. Push off. In fact, use that bottom to propel yourself another direction. Go up, even at a really small angle. But do it. This is what it feels like. I can feel this. It's awful. I don't like it. And I'm okay. I'm doing it. This is what it feels like. Repeat those kinds of thoughts. Do it like it's your job. Because when you're in it, it is your job. Bathe your mind in it. Even if it's only that 4% or like 0.0004%. That's fine. You don't need much. Just a little will do. This is what it feels like. Okay, listen, I know this is hard. This is a heavy episode. This is tough stuff. And I have a hunch, well, more than a hunch really, because I'm hearing from you that we need this. We need reminders of what to do. We need ways to support ourselves when we absolutely cannot support ourselves. And I sincerely, genuinely hope that this episode can be that. Keep this one downloaded or flagged in your podcast app or bookmarked on your web browser. Lean on this when you need it. I will be here to remind you. You don't have to get creative. You don't have to get resourceful or clever. Just keep this nearby if you need it. Then you'll have it. Okay? I know things get hard. I so know. I've been there. You're not alone. And I'm here with you. I'm here to support you. I'm here to remind you you're doing it. All right, my friend, that's it for today. I hope this helps. I will be back next week for more Transforming Anxiety. Please don't forget to rate and review the show. That'll help anyone else who is in it to find tools and some support for when they need it. And I would really appreciate it so much. I will see you again soon. And until then, please take care. Do you have someone to help you with your stress, anxiety, worry, and overwhelm? If not, I would love to be your coach. The Fierce Calm Project is my virtual coaching program where we get to go in on topics like this one, and I can help you apply these lessons to your life so that you're creating your own transformation. We do live coaching calls, guided meditations, on-demand yoga classes. We hold book club where we read books your neighborhood book club won't, and there's lots of bonus content that I've created just for you. When you're ready to take what you're learning on the podcast to a whole other level, then come on over and check out the Fierce Calm Project at kellyhanlonmccormick.com/Fierce Calm Project.